Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining us today on SportsNetworker.com. Today is a real treat for us, people like me who've loved Madden since I was a little kid. We're joined by one of the lead designers and producers of the EA Sports Madden NFL game, Mr. Patrick Bellanca. Patrick, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Great. Let's dive right into question number one here.
Let's do it.
As one of the lead designers and lead producers of the EA Sports Madden video game, what path did you take to reach the position you're currently in?
This is a bit of a wild one. I knew I wanted to be a part of the video game industry from a young age. I've been a gamer my whole life, and so when I went to college, I decided I was going to take computer-related courses. There was nothing in gaming at the time. I ended up being a part of a curriculum that set up new classes and is now training game industry hopefuls at the Rochester Institute of Technology in my hometown of Rochester. After that, I got into EA working a bit with the QA department, and through working my way up and having a sharp eye for design, I was given the opportunity to be a designer on the Wii project and worked my way on to Big Bad, the real Madden Gen 3 project.
In terms of the upcoming version of Madden 2013, which is set to hit stores in August, what are some of the features that you've worked to improve the game?
Well, I had a lot to do with presentation this year. So we got Jim Nantz and Phil Simms into our game for the first time ever. They look and sound amazing. I was involved with the presentation and how we get them on the screen. You're interacting with them. They're talking to you with some beautiful lip sync. Everything around pregame and halftime and postgame. And the integration of presentation with Connected Careers mode, which we'll get into in a bit. Really, I've just been fully focused on the presentation side of Madden NFL 13.
A question on everyone's mind, especially mine when I play with, my team, which is the Jets in Madden, is how do you work to determine the ratings for each individual player? I'm hoping you can describe for us the process that goes in to projecting a player's rating for each upcoming Madden game, because in a way, you guys are kind of like scouts.
Yeah, we like to think of it that way. We're attached to the NFL, but from the outside. We've got a ratings and roster guy. Goes by the name of Donnie Moore. And Donnie Moore, our ratings czar, has basically turned ratings and rosters into an art. It all starts with watching football. We watch every game every week. We take notes. I've watched a lot of games with Donnie. It's pretty amazing how he knows everybody from basically their first college scouting report through Combine Day. He's familiar with all these guys. And so getting them into the game with their initial ratings is really just a matter of how they perform statistically, what others are saying, what other trusted analysts are saying, and it's a bit of a gut call. But that's really only a small part of the ratings and the rosters. We maintain ratings and rosters every week throughout the season and into the postseason, and so those are derived from their performances in the week prior. And so it's not all statistical. There's a lot of magic. It's a lot of gut instinct. It's a lot of sort of comparing this type of guy versus this other type of guy. All said and done, it's subjective. It's open for discussion. We talk about it. We love it. We interact with athletes that think their speed should be higher, or or guys think that that we're just dogging them out because we're fans of the opponent. But that's not the case at all. It was quite a bit of work, and Donnie's really amazing at that.
You referenced earlier on that Jim Nantz and Phil Simms have taken over the broadcasting for the new Madden game. What can we expect from them, and what sort of went into the decision to choose them as the A team for the game?
Decision was easy. They're CBS's top crew. They're the A crew. As we watch a lot of film, we're seeing these guys week after week when it's important. Ravens Steelers, you're going to have Nantz and Simms. They are CBS's go-to crew, and so when we did when we sat and looked at Madden NFL 12, and commentary was a bit of a low point in that product, we knew we needed to make a change. And Jim Nantz and Phil Simms are CBS's trusted guys, so we started with them. We took a lot from broadcast TV this year. You'll see in our presentation package, television-inspired, broadcast-inspired UI, banners, graphical elements, and Nantz and Simms. Selecting them was easy. Getting them in the game the way we wanted them in the game was a bit more work. So we've got them in the game. They present the pregame of every game. They are right up in your face, perfect lip sync, and they're setting up the story of today's game. So they're going to be talking to you about what week it is, what's important. Is this what type of matchup? Are we talking divisional? Is it first time they met, second time they met? Is this a hot rivalry in the league? Is this a must-win game? Are we in the playoff chase? Is this a holiday week? And so Jim Nantz starts with "Hello, friends," and Phil Simms has some note about it, and they set up really every game for you with this great lip sync right on camera. And once we got them to record their lines, which they did together, it was amazing. It's something that we hadn't ever gotten out of a broadcast crew before. So the magic that you hear on Sunday is the magic that you hear in Madden. These guys will laugh and play off of each other. They know each other. They have excellent rapport. They do this every Sunday. So when we got them in the booth, we just sort of gave them situations like Ben Roethlisberger off of a 3-win streak. And they know what to say because they've done that before. And it was just really natural. We just set up these situations. We didn't have to script anything. We had an editor. We have a writer. We put stuff together. But they took a look at it and said, no, we know how this goes. And in a lot of cases, they kind of curbed our intentions. Our use case for a certain line wasn't up to the way CBS would have had them do it. So they would interject and go, hey, my producer would have had me do it a little different. Do you mind if I do it the way I'm most comfortable? And our answer is yeah. The way you're most comfortable is the way we're going to get the most realism.
Right. So in a way, it doesn't just enhance the gameplay; it enhances the sort of off the game field play because they have a keen sense of, what's going on in your season.
Yes, the full football ambiance. Just hearing them in post play analyze how I went inside when I should have gone outside is such a sort of like a real subtle thing that was missing in the game that brings us one step closer to broadcast television.
The last question we have for you today, Patrick, is what advice would you give those aspiring to break into the business of sports?
Break into the business of sports?
Yeah.
Sports or sports gaming?
Both. Let's do both.
To be in sports gaming is where I have my experience. I wish I had broken into sports. Be on the other side of the field lines. To get into sports gaming, I would suggest that any industry hopeful plays a lot of games. And I know we all play games, we're all gamers, but there's a difference between playing a game and playing a game like you want to make games. When I realized I wanted to start making games, I played with a different sense, with a different eye. I was paying attention to when I was having fun, why was I having fun? And being able to communicate the subtleties of what you love about games you love to play will help you in the long run in describing both at your job interview what you love and don't love, what you're passionate about, and how, and with those experiences, how to make other games that use similar types of things fun. So, working on Madden is a bit of, it's a lot of fun because we're pressed with releasing we're a football game. Every year we're making a football game. Sometimes people will say we feel like we've fully explored the football space, but I don't think that's true at all. There's tons and tons of room for growth in this product, for ways to make the game more fun, for ways to make the game feel more and more like an immersive broadcast. And so it's tapping into that creativity, tapping into those fun memories of early games, things that drew me in, things that taught me. I have a fiance, and she's not very good at games. She falls into pits anytime we have to platform jump. And I am thankful that I played all these games that taught me all these general rules of video games. And she lacks all of that. So, in retrospect, you have to sort of play it, you have to learn it, you have to analyze it, you have to be able to communicate that outward, and others will feel your passion and want you on their team.
Patrick, thank you very much for your time today. You gave us some great insight, some sneak peeks as to what we can expect in August with the new Madden, and hopefully anyone interested in sports gaming will definitely watch this once or twice, get some good advice from you. So for sportsnetworker.com, I'm Lucas Biebelberg. Thank you very much.
Cool. Check us out August 28th.